because God says that he will forgive your sins except those sins who you have wronged other people. So the concept behind that is that I must seek forgiveness to the person that I have harmed or upset or, had their feelings hurt. Anything I've done wrong to a person, I must seek their forgiveness, and I must have their forgiveness before God will forgive me. So it's kind of, it forces you to think about your daily interactions with people. I must be good. Going to bed, you just sit there and you think, okay, did I do anything wrong? How can I make up? What did I do something to hurt someone's feelings? Because at the day of judgment, everyone is so worried about their own deeds and their own record book that no one is going to stop and say, oh yeah, I will forgive you. Everyone is so busy running around trying to sort things for themselves so God says that make your amends here on earth and seek forgiveness from those who you have wronged. So that's a huge theme in Islam, that you cannot harm people. You cannot harm, any living creature in that respect. And it's also said, which is beautiful, it says that, those who walk the earth rough and arrogantly, the earth even on the day of judgment will complain against that person. Yeah, so you have to treat all living things with respect and know that they are all created by the Creator. So it says that. It says that, don't walk with arrogance, but don't harm as well, because you will, on the day of judgment, your hands will tell. It's very graphic. It says your hands will tell will say what you have done wrong. Your ears will be a witness against you. Your tongue will be a witness against you. There's in that day that you cannot, run from judgment. So we're told over and over again that, correct yourself and, seek forgiveness from your fellow man and so on and so forth. So Ramadan itself is something that we seek to, God's mercy and to just, cleanse ourselves, seek forgiveness, and it's a boot camp to get, praying 5 times a day back into our, and it's hard. It is very hard to have your own whole daily routine around prayer, but it's an opportunity because when you fast for the sake of God, your fast is not accepted unless you pray your 5 times. So that's kind of forcing almost 29 to 30 days of praying each and every prayer 5 times a day. So that it's kind of like a boot camp, for getting your prayers down every day. Also, it's practicing, mentally. You cannot think bad things. You cannot say anything. And if somebody provokes you or something, and you just say, okay, I'm fasting, and you're supposed to walk away. You're not supposed to engage, because that you're supposed to teach yourself humility and God consciousness, and remember above all that your fast will be broken if you say anything or think anything ill of anybody or of anything in that respect. So this is the 7 essentials of faith, and how we practice it. We call the next 5 things pillars of Islam. They're the foundation of it. The first one is the declaration of faith, which is the oneness of God and belief that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his messenger. And that's basically, that makes you a Muslim. That's just, if you believe in that, you're a Muslim. The second is prayer 5 times a day. We are told that after we pass away, the first thing that we will be accounted for in our graves is our prayer. So prayer for Muslims is an obligation above all. God says that it's a shield. It protects us from Satan. Satan is our open foe, and that prayer is a shield for us against him. So prayer 5 times a day. The third is to give charity to the poor yearly. And we have, I would say, simplifying it much, but we have 2 types of charity. One is this, given in the month of Ramadan. It's 2.3 of the unused wealth. You have to give it. Anything that you have left over, it's taxed about 2.3%, and you have to give it to the poor. And there's, of course, nowadays there's things set up. There's funds set know exactly where your money is going. The other kind of charity is charity you can give every day, and it says it doesn't have to be monetary, but it says, God says that when you give from your right hand, you should give it as so your left hand doesn't even know. So it's supposed to be done with humility, with in fact secrecy, because you're not doing it to show off. You're doing it to help people, and that's between you and God, really. So that's number 3. Number 4 is this month, the month of fasting. And I was telling Carol that this is an obligation for Muslims, and we have to fast. Those who are exempted are the elderly, pregnant women, women who are on their menses, anybody on medication. So these people are exempted, and they are told that you have to, in lieu, either fast at a later time, or you feed the poor, or you open someone who's fasting their fast. Yeah, a fasting person's fast you open, or you feed the poor. So a lot of times we love to, I'll call up my uncle back home, say, I'm sending money. Can you please make sure that, you give this to whatever organization, or he will do, what he will do is he'll take the money and he'll go and he will set up a whole buffet for, the needy in that respect, and open their fast. So you get sawab for it. So in the month of Ramadan, we have a lot of people inviting everybody over, because you're kind of fighting to open up someone else's fast, because you will not only get your reward for doing your own fast, but you will actually get the reward of the fasting person that you're opening the fast of. So it's honestly, the religion itself is a religion of good deeds. Men and women are considered equal in the sight of God, except for their deeds of piety. That's the only difference, and we don't know. I don't know if you're comparing my husband and myself. Only God knows. He's the only person who knows now, and we will know at the end of the day of judgment where everyone stands, because your deeds are your record, and that is the only way that you can possibly be any better. So each of us strive, and I know that that's a bad example where I said that, we all try to open up each other's fast, but, and it's also, it's something that you're rewarded, so you want to seek reward from God.
And
so
you
that's
can't get upset if somebody gets to open the fast and you don't,
yes.
because then that would be a negative.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, like, for instance, and I'll give you an example, and you're most welcome. Brian knows this. Every Friday in the month of Ramadan, Lori knows this, and I'm thinking that you probably do too. Every Friday in our masjid, we have a potluck, and we open our fast together as a community. And you're more than welcome to join us. It's right at sundown, and you're more than welcome to come and open the fast with us. We open with, typically the tradition of the Prophet is with water and dates, and then we go and do our sunset prayer, and then we come and then we eat together as a community. And you're more than welcome to join us. Yeah, we would love that. And then we go in when the time for the nighttime prayer is, then we go in for the nighttime prayer. And you can observe that, and it's going to be every Friday up until July 5th. Yeah, that July 5th, I believe, is the marker for the end of Ramadan. We are on a lunar calendar, just like our Jewish cousins. And so we wait for sundown to sight the moon on the 29th day. If we don't see the new moon, then we fast the next day, 30 days. So we either fast 29 or 30 days, depending on the sighting of the new moon. So every Friday, you're more than welcome to come. You don't need to say anything, just come. You'll be our guest, and we'd be honored to have you. So that is the fasting, and then performing pilgrimage to Mecca once in a lifetime, if financially capable. So the thing, and I didn't bring my prayer rug, of course, so the direction of a Muslim's prayer is towards the city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. And it's not the city itself, but what's in the city. And what's in the city is this thing called, in Arabic, the Kaaba. And translated into English, it just means cube. And it's a black cube. There's nothing in it. And its significance is basically goes back historically. It is known historically to be the first house of worship on earth, built by prophet Adam and his son Seth. And throughout the history of mankind, it has been demolished, rebuilt, knocked down, rebuilt, and the last prophet to rebuild it was prophet Abraham. So we are told that all the prophets went there for pilgrimage and prayed, because the significant was it was built by the first prophet as a place of worship for God that was establishing worship on earth. So it is a huge undertaking for Muslims if we are to go and follow in the footsteps of all the prophets and the last prophet, our prophet, but do the trials and tribulations of prophet Abraham, where we all know his story, where he was ordered to sacrifice his son for the sake of God. And as he was doing it, and Satan tempted him and said, don't do it and whatever, and he didn't listen, and he said, I obey. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, that means, oh Lord, I am here, and I'm here to follow you and to obey. And when he did that, his son was replaced by a ram or lamb, whatever. So that is actually, so Ramadan is our month of fasting, and at the end of the month of fasting, we have what's called Eid, which it denotes festival. It means happy day. And so we go to congregational prayers in the morning, if we can. We go and then we celebrate by visiting each other's homes. Kids get gifts for fasting, and so that is one of two of our holidays. The second one is right after the Hajj, and that is also, it's the second Eid, and that is commemorating Prophet Abraham and his test to God and what he did with his son. And so at the end of this pilgrimage is called the Eid, the celebration. Now, if we're not there, what we have to do here is that if I'm an earning able Muslim, I have to, and if I have the means, of course, I have to find a lamb or a goat or a sheep, and I have to sacrifice that for the sake of God, and distribute 1/3 to the poor and needy, 1/3 to family, friends, and keep 1/3. That is the prescribed distribution. And so my husband does it, I do it, if we have the means, if we have the means to give it for our children as well. So it's a mass distribution to the poor, and sometimes now that's the guidelines.